quick story here. I was coming home from work one day. It was about a couple months ago, and I would stop at this one store. It's a country store. It's a little gas station. Hardly any people stop there. So I stop there when I'm really in a hurry and I don't want to deal with any crowds. And so I stopped by to grab whatever I was going to grab and make it real quick. And as I walk up to the register, the clerk, I'm looking at her, and she's there all the time. She's the number one clerk, and at that time. And as I was looking at her, I could tell by her, her posture, her eye movement, her pitch, tone, her body gyrations, everything was telling me she was in distress. So, obviously, I said, "Hey, Kathy," that was her name tag. What's wrong? And she kind of looked at me kind of surprised, because I don't think she was expecting that to come from one of her customers, especially since we don't have a very intimate relationship. And she looked at me and she said, nothing. And I said, yeah, okay. I said, but my day job, I'm a crisis counselor, so, you're telling me you're okay, but I'm reading the signs to say that you're in distress at appearance. So if you want to talk to somebody, nobody's here. Tell me what's going on. And she just looked at me, and just like a floodgate just came, tears started coming down her eyes. She just looks at me and she said, man, she says, the guy that I work with is the biggest da-da-da-da-da, and I said, really, what does he do? And she started telling me there was a lot of emotional abuse and a lot of verbal abuse that was going on in the workplace, which was, pretty obvious to me, because I know the guy, and he's a raging alcoholic, and I wasn't surprised. And so she started telling me, and I said, okay, Kathy, let me ask you a question, just real quick. What do you got in your house of value? What do you hold dear to you? What is it in your house that is the most valuable possession that you own? And she said, well, I have some pictures, I have my pictures of my grandparents, I have pictures of my children growing up, and these are the valuable items that I possess. I said, would you allow this guy, we'll call him John, would you allow this guy named John to come into your house and start desecrating those pictures and start ripping them up and splashing, acid all over them or smudging them with his filthy hands? What would you say to him? And he handles them with defiance, with, I'm going to destroy them, I'm going to hurt them, I'm going to desecrate them. I said, what would you do with it? What would you say? And she said, I'd tell him off. I would chew him out. I would tear him up. I said, good. Got something to work with. So let me ask you something. Let's say you're in your house and a fire breaks out and you're sleeping, and all of a sudden, by the time you're aware that something is going on, the only thing you're able to do is to grab your blanket and get out with your own skin. And the house is just going up in flames. Would you risk your life, your limb, and your well-being to go back into the house and rescue those possessions, knowing that you could possibly lose your life? She said, no, I wouldn't. I said, okay. So what you're telling me is that you're more valuable than the most valuable possession that you possess. True? She said, yeah, I guess I am. I said, okay. And these possessions that aren't as valuable as you would allow, you would not allow this man to desecrate them. You wouldn't allow him to go in and abuse them, but you're allowing him to do it to you. Why? She thought. You gave me a lot to think about. It was about a 5-minute conversation, and I was out the door. And about a week and a half later, I stopped again just to grab whatever I was going to grab and head out the door. And she comes running up to me and gives me a big hug. And she says, I've thought about you. She said, I didn't even know your name. She said, but boy, you have changed my life. I said, what do you mean? She says, I thought about that conversation that you and I had, and I thought about it. I went home and I talked to my kids, and I told them what you had said. And they said, Mom, she's right. What are you going to do about it? She said, I'm going to go look for another job. She said, tomorrow is my last day. And I'm so glad that you came in, because I want to tell you, I'm so excited. I got a better job, better pay, and more professional. And I thank you for helping me out of this pickle I've been in for years. I don't even know why I put up with it. Well, it's so easy to get at. And that's just a story, okay? And that is a true story. And it happens every day. But it's codependency behavior. And a lot of times, there's girls that I work with on a day-to-day basis. They will put up with stuff because they have lost their sense of value. And an abuser, the number one issue that they're going to do is try to make you feel that you have no value. They don't want you to feel that you have any substance besides what they grant you to have, which is little crumbs under the table. And a codependency behavior, they'll tell you what you think instead of asking you what you think. They will make you an enmeshment of their personhood, and poof, you've been gone. You've been erased. You don't exist. And that's just a quick story. It's just something to think about. What do you got in your house of most value? How would you respond to somebody coming in and desecrating it and hurting it and violating it? And then why would you put up with someone doing that to you? Just a thought. Ta-ta. Hope you have a great day.